Hey, what's going on, everyone? Astrologer Eric Rosen here for the first part of your weekend horoscope. That's Saturday, October 17th of 2020. Let's get that screen share pulled up, get the chart pulled. So, first things first, we just came out of a new moon in Libra. So, hopefully, you set your intentions. Hopefully, they were positive. Hopefully, you're headed in a good, positive direction. But it's kind of like right off the bat, it's like, oh no, did I do the right things? Did I set the right ones? I feel like today could be kind of a murky day a little bit. You've got that moon that's now in Scorpio, and it's going to cross over that Mercury in Scorpio and oppose Uranus. And so this is like definitely kind of challenging us to play detective a little bit and know, like, are you really stepping it up in terms of the perception of the value that you really deserve in your life? Or are you getting hung up in trust issues where you can't trust spirit to bring you the awesome life, reality, all the great, beautiful physical things that you want in the partnerships? So, this moon is going to be making hard aspects over to this Chiron in Aries to start the day. And so it's like you kind of have an opportunity that you can kind of just fall into your ego and just this day doesn't look the way that I wanted to, or you can use that as an indicator, be like, oh no, I'm about to step into a Venus flytrap. And no, I just need to actually go over here and realize that it's my own trust issues. I don't have trust in the process. I don't have trust in myself or of God or of life to brave, the parts of myself that have a little bit more of a shadowy aspect. It's like, believe it or not, I think this is where it calls into question where it's like, where's there maybe a part of yourself that almost like prefers to be in the darkness? Because this Mercury retrograde is here opposing Uranus to be like, hey, like if you're willing to tap into your truth, you can shake up your reality and have it the best way possible. And so there might be, pockets throughout your day where you're kind of getting pulled into the doldrums of thinking, but it's like the sooner that you can notice that and pay attention to that, I would say the better. It's getting out of any mundane thinking. These nodes, they don't move very fast, but it's like they're worth mentioning because they're very karmic. They let us know where the eclipses are happening, big cycles, and they take 18 months to go through a sign. And so it comes up, a south node, Sagittarius, where it's not so much about obviously paying attention to the world, but also like maybe as people have kind of shifted towards, maybe not paying attention so much to what's going on in the world events, and they're just like, oh, like yawning, like I've had enough of the Neptune Pisces deception, with the media, like, fuck it, who cares? Like, just show me where to go in my personal life, show me how to create more peace and harmony with my thoughts and my partnerships, especially my daily routine, just my life. And so moving on from that, it's like there with this kind of surrender moment that I think we have coming out of this new moon in Libra, it's like, don't start looking around and going, do I need to do something else? Do I need to work on myself some more? Do I have enough? This can bring up a little bit of like imposter syndrome. Like there can be a lot of like comparisons being made with the stuff going on in Capricorn, where it's like, is this person doing better than me? Are they ahead on the trail? Do I need to do some work, research? Do I need to take a class? Do I need to do some more studying to learn more about myself? It's like, no, it's like, take everything that you've got all the tools already, and just ingrain it in your thoughts. And usually we say ingrain, it could have kind of a negative connotation, but not if it's positive things about yourself. This is more about the work that I think that people can sometimes resist, which is one, paying attention to the present moment and just simply breathing. And two, it's like, where are your thoughts going? There's a lot in Capricorn that's saying, hey, like the ultimate responsibility is accepting responsibility for your thoughts and the way your mental state, co-creates your reality. But I was going to say shapes it too, because in some ways with the understanding of astrology and how everything works, there are going to be predestined markers, predestined events, but it's the way that you kind of shape it, almost like a sandcastle or like an ice sculpture. It's like, how do you want it to look? Like you're being given the raw ingredients by the universe, and thank God that you are. And I would say those raw ingredients are, you know, new partnerships can show up, but it's like you've got to start putting your thoughts and mixing it together and putting it through this Capricorn machine that's going to help take you to a longer term, better lifestyle. Whether you want to look at that as just your career or your bigger, like your legacy impact. It's like, I would say that it's bigger than career, even if I'm being honest, with just everything that's been going on in the astrology. And so when it comes to taking your day-to-day action today, it's like, yeah, I mean, this square between Jupiter, Mars, it's getting tighter. And so it's like, it's like take steps now that are just on your long-term road, your long-term destiny. It's like you can't really afford any more mishaps. It's just going to produce a lot of frustration. This is the frustration of, I'm going to say it even brings up like human design. And if you don't know your human design, I would go Google human design and pull up your stuff and do some reading about it, because there's a lot when it comes to human design, the understanding of how you take action with Mars. And so it's like, if you're still evading consciously or unconsciously your human design type, like mine, for example, is like just essentially responding to what I feel passionate about, whether that's a person, that says, hey, Eric, there's this thing, or it's, just a feeling like, fuck yeah, I want to do that. But then if I don't do it and I ignore it, it turns into frustration. And so it's like, where can frustration energy be avoided? Where can that be evaded instead, to not only do the work, like Jupiter's not happy in Capricorn because it wants to give you some gifts, but it's like, it's almost like Santa's like getting shoved like through the pipes of a factory. He's like, oh, ho, ho, like this is a chimney. And it's like, no, dude, that was like a smokestack you just went into that's like polluting the environment with like negative thoughts. And it's like Jupiter's like going down there to like, unclog all that stuff. Santa's going down there and then it's going to come out the other end kind of looking all smoky and black, but that doesn't mean that he's going to give you coal. The gifts were still in the sack, they were protected. And so it's like, yeah, you've got to go through some like harsh circumstances. I used to work in, factory type places. I understand like the harshness of what it takes to thrive and be successful in tough environments. But, use this Neptune to realize that sometimes the reality looks bleak physically, but it's like there's much greater things going on than what meets the eye. And that's when you can create a brand new portal for like how you're seeing your life, especially with that Mercury opposed Uranus. I think that's a lot of what it's teaching us. It's like, can you see the truth? Can you see energy? Can you see things as being made up of energy? Can you see that truth? Can you have the understanding that there are always things moving beyond what we can see, that things are vibrating? This bowl that had blueberries in it that I ate before this, hopefully my teeth aren't too blue, it's vibrating, it's moving, it's got molecules and particles, if you want to break it down to more of a scientific, logical level. So, the thing is like, yeah, this is a weekend horoscope, but it's like, we've also kind of got to get out of the old school thinking of how the time system works. And that's Capricorn. And that all changed this year when Saturn and Pluto met January 12th. And so Jupiter's actually saying like, hey, all the really big gifts truly are in the present moment. Venus is in the present moment too in Virgo. And so it's like, just be still and pay attention to that and start noticing what's moving, what's not moving. Like I had to take a deep breath there a little bit, because it's like, I'm holding my breath a little bit and I don't need to. What's wrong with pausing? It's just a horoscope, So this is where can you pause in your life to reflect with Sun in Libra and say, where's this going? This is more about your mindset and being in the vibration to receive the things that you want and taking action to like move towards those things. Uranus and Taurus would love to come out of the space ship that it resides in. It's a freaking weirdo in space. It would love to come to Earth here and just like hang out, but it seems like every time Uranus has to come here oh, I forget. I think Uranus is 65 years, if I'm not mistaken, to go around the whole zodiac. It's like, man, every time I come here, you guys are ready to kill each other. I don't know if you know this. Getting a little sidetracked here, but every time Uranus comes into Gemini is when all the major wars happen. But it's like, why do I got to kick your asses every time and like wake you guys up to show you that your value systems are kind of messed up? Uranus would rather come here and vacation and, relax with everybody and teach everybody to relax their central nervous systems and enjoy the good life. It's like, it kind of brings up like taking slow quality steps, like really worth your time and really just not fucking around anymore with just like stupid shit, bullshit. Taurus, it's the bull. That's where that saint comes from. And just like realizing that I don't have time to send my attention. My higher mind is getting jacked if I'm sending my lower attention to vices and just weird obsessions. There's a saying, it's like every moment counts, but I'm gonna say right now, it's every thought counts. Everything that we're doing right now is like feeding into this portal that's opening on December 21st at the end of the year with Saturn and Jupiter that are going to meet in Aquarius. And so it's like, yeah, the liberation is coming, guys, but only if you put in the work before it left Capricorn. So if you guys have questions on what that is, drop them in the comments. I'll do my best to respond. I want to give the positive aspects too. I said I was going to do that going into this. And so it's like really the only real positive aspects, if I'm being honest, happening on this day is this Mars retrograde, where it's like the understanding, it's like, can you just go back to school in terms of the way that you take action in your day-to-day life and re-educate yourself? Or do you want to cling to the way that, your belief of how it should be? And then the positive aspects of Venus over to, especially Jupiter. I'd say mostly pretty much just Jupiter. But it's like the two great benefics in astrology that bring the positivity are there. They're getting along, but it's like you got to take the steps on your long-term path and do the work and do the edits and just, it's kind of like really be in your reality. Like really be in your reality, but also be in a higher form of your reality too, where it's like don't escape into vices and fantasy land and stuff like that, or it's like there's something to say about it's not so much like wishing for things to get better. It's more about, can you see it in your mind, things getting better? I'm gonna leave you with that. Love you all. Happy Saturday.